Welcome to the Gaming Outsider Podcast. On this week's episode, Zack, Jacob, Alyssa, CB, and I answer questions from the community as is tradition for the first episode of each month. In news, EA celebrates The Sims anniversary with a new collection. As for new games this week, Zack played Tales of Iron 2 Whiskers of Winter, and Alyssa played Threefold Recital. Also, I took a deep dive into a classic JRPG for the very first time. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome once again to the Gaming Outsider Podcast, a video game podcast with all about games and our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. We've also got facebook.com/groups/the GoCast and even a Discord server. You can find a link for that in the show notes. It is Tuesday, February 4th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Mr. Zack Parkerson.
Hey, how do you do? Full house.
Full house. Also joining us, Mr. Jacob Gunderson. What's up?
Hey.
And Chris Behrensmeyer.
Hola.
And Alyssa White.
You saved the best for last.
Wow. I like confidence.
It's the first time we've done 5 of us in a while, so this is pretty rad. Looking forward to. Let's just jump right into it because we got a lot of games to catch up on, especially CB. He's got quite a list. CB, what have you been playing?
Oh, well, I've basically just strapped on my VR helmet for like 3 days straight.
All right. Nothing.
Strap it on.
Baiting. Yeah. Baiting. So first off, I played a game called Budget Cuts Ultimate.
That sounds like real life.
Yeah. Yeah. CB just dropped off. It's only the 4 of us now. Ooh. Can you at least hear me? I know. So Budget Cuts Ultimate, it first person adventure game, I guess. You're trying to find out what's going on at this shady corporation. And you go around stabbing a bunch of robots.
What does that to do with budget cuts? I'm confused.
So the company, like, you are a worker, and all of a sudden, all of your other human coworkers start disappearing and are being replaced with robots, and you're trying to figure out why.
Okay. The Robopocalypse.
Yeah. So far, one of the characters is like, "You've caused over $500 million worth of damage so far." I'm like, awesome. Loving it. It's a lot of fun. The first time I played it actually was on the HTC Vive that you played on, Scott.
Okay.
Over at my buddy Nate's house.
That was my first VR experience, I believe. That wasn't PSVR.
Yeah. So that's when the original demo came out.
Oh my goodness! Did this game just fully get released?
Last year, I think.
Okay.
So just played through it. It is smooth. It is fun. And there's actually a like a bow and arrow in it too.
Nice.
You would love this game.
I want to play it.
It's a lot of fun.
I still need to try out the Oculus 3 or MetaQuest 3.
Over the past few days, like, I've been using it almost nonstop.
He's like driving to work with his helmet on.
You could. So then I played another game called Human Within, which would be very much in Alyssa's wheelhouse.
I was going to say, it sounds like a very introspective kind of game.
I feel like I saw the trailer for this.
It's a live action game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So it's like the Whales interactive games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where basically there's like a story. You can make, it's got like a branching narrative.
But isn't this the one where like you're actually walking around in what looks like a real world?
No.
Or is it like you can turn your head and...
Yeah, you can turn your head, which trips me out because you can't see the camera that it's being filmed from. So I'm like really curious to see how they did this.
Yeah.
But like for like, do you choose this or this? You actually have to like rotate your hand left or right.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, okay, that's an interesting way to do it, and it doesn't like stop the story.
Mm-hmm.
So the way they did the cuts was really good. So like you'll just see like something appear in front of you, and you got to like turn your hand left or right and it just keeps going.
But isn't this where, because you're interacting with these characters, Are they doing the Bethesda thing where they just kind of stare at you blankly while you're waiting for a decision to make? Or?
You're actually not interacting with them.
Oh.
So the story of the game is you are a person who's stuck inside a computer. And so you can see everything from computer screens, cameras, and stuff like that.
Oh, so it's like a Her Story situation.
Her Story, but like literally anything electronic. Like there's like you're tracking one guy and you'll be like in his cell phone watching him. And then it'll transfer to like a like traffic cam.
So the movie Searching that you recommended a couple weeks ago.
Kind of.
I watched
Eagle
it.
Eye.
Oh,
It was a good movie.
It's a fun movie.
So there, Human Within, real fun experience for a live action game.
All right.
Next one is in Scott's wheelhouse called Pillow. It's kind of a wind down game. So like
wind down games or Scott games?
Well, because you always have trouble like falling asleep and stuff, you say.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So this game was actually designed to be like you're laying flat looking at the ceiling.
Okay. What better way to help me fall asleep than strap a VR helmet to my face?
Believe it or not, I actually did fall asleep using this. So it's like
it's in the name.
Yeah, they do a good job of it. There's like 5 different modes. There's like guided meditation, star watching. There's like a story that'll tell you. You can go fishing. And then the other one is a multiplayer, which is still in beta, which I didn't try.
Oh, sleepover? Hell yeah.
It'd be so weird. Just be like, I'm laying in my bed, you're laying in your bed. Be like, hey, friend.
Is there a bonus mode called Pillow Fight?
Bro, come
No.
over. Let's play Pillow.
But that
We're
would
going
be,
to watch the stars together.
Definitely sounds like a euphemism.
I was going to say, it's
It
like
does.
Netflix and chill for VR.
yeah. Oh, that already exists.
Come over and play Pillow with me.
So
And then we can play Doctor.
Pillow with me.
No,
Oh, all right.
yeah.
I
So
already have a body pillow of Scott.
Oh, yeah.
I
They're
could see that.
expensive.
They are expensive.
They gave me a
Interesting.
discount because it was
Ow.
Scott.
I was gonna say how much does a Scott body pillow cost that you're both aware of the price?
Well, it's just like the hidden item that used to be on the store.
Oh, man. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. For
The
those
signed picture of Scott Clark.
that remember, we used to have a store on our website selling back when we were making masks
hmm
during the COVID years. And CB put, what was it, like a signed picture?
It was a signed picture of you.
And you put like $150 or something on
Yep.
it? Like something
Yeah, you
ridiculous.
really had to search it out.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Keep going.
So Pillow, it's interesting. It's cheap. It's there.
Okay.
Next one I tried was a demo for a game called Nothing to Declare, which is basically you get to play You Are the TSA.
Oh.
Oh,
Like a papers,
okay.
please situation?
Yeah, so you're a TSA agent. Like they give you your passport, you got to check that against their information, against their ticket, put their luggage through an X-ray machine, and like basically pull out what's not kosher.
Mm-hmm.
Still early. I got to play like 3 days of it, like 3 days like of time with it. But it was okay. I kind of hope they cleaned it up a little more. There wasn't a lot to do with it, but it's so unnerving because everything is so rudimentary, and their faces look so like kind of built. Like the face is the most fleshed out part of this game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, oh god, everything's so block and like VR, and then you just see their faces. I'm like, this is weird.
It's like Minecraft backgrounds with LA Noir faces.
Yeah.
Very
That's a
jarring.
really good way to put it.
I want to quickly say hi to Eric. He is in the chat and he said hi to me. So hi, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Thank
Hola.
you for stopping by. He's a
Wow,
dear friend of mine.
Just Alyssa? Mm.
We've known
Push
each
in.
other for like 11 years now.
Nice.
Fair enough. And then finally, I played through the entire Power Wash Simulator Back to the Future DLC.
So what else is in that besides the DeLorean?
The train
Oh, yeah. Okay. of
from
course.
3. You get to clean the entire clock house.
I was gonna say the clock tower has to be in there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
The clock tower. So, but this is like the first time like you could actually go in and then like climb the stairs to the clock tower.
Oh,
Nice.
Which I'm like,
That's cool.
You never saw this in any of the movies, so I'm like, okay, I like their idea of how to get up there.
yeah.
Do you think
Doc
they
Brown's
called
van?
Robert Zemeckis for the plans first?
I thought you were gonna say, can you power wash Robert Zemeckis?
It's just
director?
power washing Robert Zemeckis.
Publishing it, just power washing a director.
cleaning up the spots in his script. But yeah, it's Doc Brown's van, the DeLorean, the train, the clock tower, and there was like one other thing, and I can't remember what it was off the top of my head.
How much is this DLC?
It was like I got it on sale for like $5.99.
Okay, because I played one level of that. I think it was the first of the original, where you did like a bike, like a motorbike or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed it, but I never went further into it. I would like to go back to that someday, because that is just a relaxing game, and especially if I can clean the DeLorean. Come on.
Oh yeah. Oh, and you clean the theater from Back to the Future 2 with the Jaws hologram.
Oh, okay.
It
that's
actually
a weird
does
thing.
the Jaws hologram too.
Oh, does it? That's cool.
Oh,
But you could also clean Croft Manor.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
And the bike from Final Fantasy VII as well.
Yeah.
Yep. The only ones that I haven't done now is I haven't done the SpongeBob ones, and now they have an Alice in Wonderland DLC.
Did you say SpongeBob?
he
Yep.
did say SpongeBob.
There's a
like
whole.
Who does live in a pineapple under the sea?
Oh my goodness! Isn't there like a Wallace and Gromit one or something too?
There's a million. There's Warhammer.
Wow. It's a power washing enterprise, huh?
If you do the PC side load, like there's a bunch of them that are out there.
Nice. Jake, what have you been playing, man?
Oh my goodness. Still, I am refreshing my soul with Sulfur, because I like shooting things. But Dynasty Warriors has gotten interesting, but the story is starting to really annoy me.
Oh
Why is
no.
that?
There's just lots of little things that they do over and over and over again. And I don't know if it was on purpose or trying to keep you educated on the story while you were playing it, but sitting down and playing through it all at once or a couple of chapters at a time, and they keep reiterating the same stuff, or I don't want to say changing what they've already talked about, but it just, once you kind of get the rhythm of how the story goes, it becomes almost predictable. And then it gets really annoying to me. Like the battle is fun, but all of the talking segments are just getting really bland for me.
Oh, that's a bummer,
And it's
man.
getting really hard to actually pay attention to what's going on, because I'm just not enthralled as I was when it first started.
Gotcha. Is the gameplay still fun at least?
Oh yeah, the gameplay is fun. It's gotten slightly harder, but that probably is getting close. Hopefully I'm getting close to the end. I've put probably about 30 hours into it.
Nice.
So, but yeah, the story is just, I'm going to see if I can write a review on it and explain more why it is starting to irritate me. But yeah, there's just some things in the game that just bug the hell out of me.
Oh, sorry to hear that, man. As for me, I did another stint with Baldur's Gate 3 this weekend. Was hoping to finish it, but alas, we ran out of time. We reached what I believe is the final boss. It seems very final boss-ish, and the first run we did it, I played it completely wrong. I realized the trick that you're supposed to do, so we decided to reset. But it was too late to start another run. So this weekend, hopefully, we're going to take out that final boss. It's really cool because again, I'm playing with Kevin and Paul, and there is a decision you have to make right before leading into that final boss. And again, Kevin and Paul are really good about not divulging anything and just letting me make these decisions. And after I made the decision, they both said that they did not make the decision I made. So they got to see a completely different way to tackle this final boss. So I just love this. And I can't wait to do this with somebody else that hasn't played it and let them make the decisions. It's going to be great. I'm looking at you, Zack. We got to line up the schedules somehow. I don't know how we're going to do that. Friday nights or something.
Any day now.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So
Hold on just a second. I did play another game for about 20 seconds. I thought it was really good. I'm trying to remember the name of it.
so good. He quit after 20 seconds.
Right.
Oh, okay. So it's weird. It's not a normal game. Okay, so on a website called itch.io, you can download some indie games or whatever. It's called The Dark Queen of Morthalme. Morthalme, whatever. It's probably only about 15 20 minutes long, but you play the boss and there is a never-ending character. It's like a Dark Souls character, and when you kill him, he comes back and then he learns your moves and he adapts to you, and so you're trying out different ways of killing him, but he's learning all of the new ways, and there's a dialogue back and forth, and it's got a really interesting story as it progresses, because he's asking you questions on why you're so adamant about protecting your throne as this Dark Queen, and you're asking him why he's so adamant about fighting you, and it comes down to basically like a learning experience for the queen as well as the character, but he ends up beating you and then the story ends. But yeah, it only takes about 20 minutes to play, but it's actually a lot of fun.
That sounds really interesting, man. I've actually considered that, like playing as a boss. It's probably been done before, but I always wanted something like that. It's like somebody kind of made what I was thinking about, so that's cool.
It's kind of weird because they call it an anti-game. Like, you're not actually playing the game, you're just kind of waiting for this guy to show up.
Yeah. The other game I want to talk about, I am really excited. Remember one of my New Year's resolutions this year was to play through 3 of the Final Fantasy games from the Pixel Remaster collection. And I really wanted to do that, but I was struggling to start because I'm very intimidated by the old school JRPGs, because I hear they're very, very unforgiving. So I've kind of been putting it off. I finally dove into the original Final Fantasy this weekend, and by original I mean the Pixel Remastered. And I've never played the original, and I am having an absolute blast going through and playing this game. Granted, I feel like I've been talking to Brandon Smith, and I felt like I hurt his feelings a little bit that I was playing this one instead of playing Final Fantasy Remaster or Renaissance. But I told him, I said, I wanted to start with the original, and I say that in air quotes because for reasons, but I wanted to play the game. I wanted to play his game second because I want to be able to appreciate the differences that he's made. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to make any sense what he's done, because if I go back and play the original, it's going to feel like I'm taking a step back. I want to see the progression.
Right. You want the reference points.
Right.
Sure.
So again, I don't know if these things are quality of life things in this game. Obviously, there's no way to turn off encounters and things like that in the original. But maybe you guys that have played it can answer this for me. But were you able to move diagonally in the original Final Fantasy? Or was it just up, down, left, and right?
I'm pretty sure it was up, down, left, and right.
Okay, because you can go diagonally in this one. I just felt like that was not what you would have been able to do, but I don't know. Again, that comes from my Zelda experience. I was surprised at the things that were not in this game that I would have expected to be in a Final Fantasy. Granted, in the Pixel Remaster, they are there, but I found out from Brandon that the original Final Fantasy does not have Phoenix Downs. To me, that was a Final Fantasy staple, completely absent in this game. They put them in there in the Pixel Remaster, though. They're really expensive, though. There's no magic points. So if you played a JRPG, you know that MP is like a staple in most Final Fantasy games. This game plays more like Dungeons and Dragons in that your magic casters have spell slots. So when you use an ether, it just replenishes one it replenishes one spell slot for each level, which is kind of cool. It's just kind of interesting how it works. So if you have a level 1 spell slot, you've got 3 different spells in that, but you only have 3 spells, so you can only use 3. It's not like you can use 3 of this spell and 3 of this spell and 3 of this spell. You have 3 spell slots total for that pool of spells, which is just really fascinating.
And people thought the draw system was, frustrating.
Yeah. That it's just really cool. You buy magic, by the way. You go to shops and buy your magic spells. I know people that have played this game are going like, well, duh, Scott, this is the way it starts. But I've never played this before, and it's just kind of a fascinating experience. Is
it fun to play with, because you're so D&D heavy now in your life with Baldur's Gate in your D&D campaign you're in? Does it I feel like it's got a lot of that flavor from what you're talking about.
Yes, but I feel like, but more so because I actually understand the system. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I would have been lost if I hadn't been playing D&D to know how spell slots work.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what I mean? The one I've been like, where's my MP? I would have been like completely lost. But the other thing that stands out to me is that there's no characterization. Like you are just like random fighter, random monk, random red mage, random black mage. Your characters never speak to one another. I mean, they speak to NPCs, but they don't have a voice. You just go up and click on somebody, and then they say something to you. You know what I mean? I'm so used to playing JRPGs where you've got personality. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. And I'm not knocking the game at all. It's just a fascinating experience to go back and see this stuff.
Well, you make the story.
Well, right. Yeah, that's the idea, right?
So it was a Sakaguchi's take on D&D, essentially.
Yeah. Just really, really enjoying it. I'm probably like 7 or 8 hours into it. Again, CB, you know where I will be. I've got the first crystal, the first of 4 crystals.
Do you think, Scott, you're going to be playing Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins after this, so you can get the prequel origin story to Final Fantasy 1?
Chaos.
Yeah. Well, have you fought isn't there like a boss at the beginning of Final Fantasy 1 that you fight? Who's the first boss?
Man.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it now.
Scott's been is more close to than me right now.
Have you met Garland?
Garland? No, I don't think so.
Knight? Okay.
Mm-mm.
I think he's one of the main threats in that game. Well, let me know when you do.
I will remember that name. It does not ring a bell, but again, I'm kind of trying to fly through it because
he might have some connections to Chaos.
Yeah.
Dude, that game rules. So dumb. It's the dumbest game I've ever played.
You were stoked for it too, weren't you?
Yeah, dude. Oh no, I mean it's a good game. I went for the platinum on that bad boy, but it's just a dumb game.
It's chaos.
You can be good and dumb.
Fair enough. All right, well that's what I've been catching up on.
Oh my god, so raspy, dude.
You gonna make it?
I'm gonna make.
That's what I was getting at my own.
I was trying to segue into the break so I could cough, but thanks for calling me out, guys.
Fried taters over there.
Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. All right, let's. Needed a break there. I apologize. A couple new trailers to talk about. A game called Scar-Led Salvation on PS5, PS4, and PC was shown. Also, Breakout Beyond. Yes, that Breakout coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, PC, and Atari VCS later this year. I don't think they gave a date. They just said later on. In news, PlayStation changes course to a single CEO this week. The Sims makes a surprise return. Things keep getting worse for BioWare. A former PlayStation boss is optimistic about Xbox's multi-platform strategy. And classic cartoon-style shooter Mouse PI for Hire will not have microtransactions. Alyssa, you've been gone for a minute. What story you want to talk about?
PlayStation changing course with its CEOs. Hideaki Nishino will be the sole CEO less than a year after the two-team CEO structure was implemented. Herman Hulst has been demoted to his old job as head of first-party studios, and he was also the man who thought Concorde would be the next Star Wars.
Funny how that works.
Yep.
Yeah, see, when there's 5 people, it's hard to
Yeah.
I would just love to be in the boardroom and they're like, we're demoting you. Why?
Yeah.
Remember what you said about Concorde?
Demotion.
$500 million you lost us on one game. Yeah, probably that. I will, dude. I think this story is fascinating because executives don't get demoted.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's a good
true.
point.
Generally, you fail upwards, and it doesn't matter how much damage you do to the company. For some reason, you just get to keep your job and get your bonuses.
Maybe when you get into the billions is when it actually starts to matter.
Well, maybe, but
Yeah.
or maybe when you're using your weird power to just greenlight 1,700 Horizon games, then know what you ask for.
Yeah, but I also think that's a very uniquely American thing that CEOs only fail upwards.
Sure.
I mean, this is
Yeah.
not an American company. Like you are being held liable for your mistakes.
Well, only somewhat. He still is in charge of first party, which is mind-boggling after Concord. and
Mhm.
I mean, I guess he didn't. Well, no, because he would have been head of first party when Jim Ryan was CEO. So yeah, he was part of the let's put all of our first party studios on live service games thing. So yeah, this guy probably shouldn't be there.
I think he's just been demoted, and then he's going to slowly fade into the trunk of a car.
Wow.
He failed upward, hit the ceiling, and rebounded.
Yep.
He's just hit the first branch on the way down.
Right.
Jacob, anything you want to talk about here?
Oh, what did I say? A former PlayStation boss is optimistic about Xbox's platform or multi-platform strategy. So, Sean Layden, former CEO and chairman, interviewed with Kiwi Talks. He said multi-platform is a strategy, particularly in the world where the cost of developing is increasing dramatically. He pointed out how well the shift to multi-platform worked for Sega after the Dreamcast didn't go so well as they had hoped. He said, we've seen it before. I mean, he was in the business when Sega brought their Dreamcast titles to the PS2 in a time where Sega became a software only company. And they turned out to have a great transformation in that respect. In terms of hardware, the Xbox Series X and S sales are reportedly behind the Xbox One at the same point in both of their life cycles, while the PS5 is outpacing the PS4. So if they're not doing so well on hardware, I could see why they'd want to take a step back and maybe redesign how they're making their sales and taking their sales to other platforms with the live stream service might be better than, or the streaming service, I guess, might be better course of action than, constantly trying to fight PlayStation.
I think. Go ahead.
I think this is interesting that it's coming from Sean Layden and not from Xbox. You know what I mean? It's like everybody else is saying that this is what Xbox is doing, but Xbox is not coming out right and saying it. I mean, they are with their actions, right?
No.
I mean, you could almost wrap this up in the same story, but look what happened with Forza Horizon 5 this week. That's coming to PlayStation, guys.
Yep.
Sure.
Microsoft first party game. First of many, I would assume.
Xbox was PlayStation's biggest publisher last year.
I mean, it's sales. Like plain and simple, it's money.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it last week where Microsoft is very much on the train of everything's an Xbox. Congrats, your PlayStation is now an Xbox.
I just feel bad that for people that invest in the Xbox ecosystem, because not a lot of people are like us that buy every console. So it just really sucks if you put your money into the Xbox and.
Like, what's I mean, I'm an Xbox guy, right? What's the reason to own an Xbox if this is the way it's going? Right, if I could have a PlayStation and play all the PlayStation exclusives and whatever is available from Microsoft, what's the advantage?
At some point in time, the hammer's got to drop. Like, there's got to be something.
Well, didn't they also mention Xbox mentioned that they would support the Nintendo Switch 2 as well?
Yeah.
But I'm still thinking that Game Pass on another console is going to be slightly more expensive. I mean, from a business standpoint, it only makes sense to do that.
So wouldn't the Xbox at that point, it would just transform into a Game Pass box?
Right.
If you don't feel like streaming?
Which is funny because didn't I say the same thing? Like, I'm willing to bet their next console is literally just going to be a small box that you can front load some stuff on.
Sweet. I don't know who that appeals to.
That'd be terrible. But
and the idea of getting Game Pass on other platforms like PlayStation 5 and Switch sounds great in terms of how many more people will subscribe, but at some point you're going to reach that cap, right? And it's not going to grow as much. You're going to have that great growth the first time that's available in those places, but that's how it was with Game Pass at the beginning.
Well, they're going to play this game where they're going to increase the amount of people that have access to Game Pass, but they're going to decrease the amount of people who are actually playing it on an Xbox. And so there's this, this game that they're going to play, this balancing act that they brought up in the story that you are going to lose the console people that are on your side to buy your product on that end, and then you're going to have more people playing Game Pass on other consoles. There's not going to be this need to bring people to the console, which is going to make it even easier to phase out Xbox as a console and just go to a streaming service.
Paul Hine in the comments made a pretty good point. He says Xbox is going to release a handheld that is slightly cheaper than the Switch.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, Game Pass sales by and large outpace hardware sales. We already know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even like in the same ballpark, because consoles, like, you have that big peak in the beginning and then it tapers off. Game Pass has been consistently high across the board every month. And now they're just like, cool, we can add potentially another like 15 to 20 million subscribers at $14 to $20 a month. That is like the world's largest cash cow. And they just have to sit there and go like, we just occasionally have to put a game on.
Well, a larger cash cow is having a successful piece of hardware that people buy games on, and then you get 30% of every sale on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
it is too, but
it's not happening for Xbox.
But now they don't have to put any R&D into developing a new console. They don't have to produce a new console if they don't want to. They can just sit back and be like, the server looks fine, boys.
Look, I agree with Sean Layton here. Of course, Xbox could be a very powerful publisher. I feel bad for the people that were Xbox fans.
Yeah.
I'm
like
still an Xbox fan. I like this course.
He mentioned Sega and talks about like the success they had there, but I feel like Sega is not nearly the powerhouse that Microsoft or Sony is. And if they're going to go that way and not be as significant in terms of the big players, what's going to be Sony's competition?
Right. That's
what scares me.
Very worrisome. PlayStation not having competition.
Yeah. And Nintendo.
I mean, sure they're competitors, but at the same time they're not.
Right. They're not big enough to be competitors.
Both companies have spoken pretty openly about how they don't view the other as competitors.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're just going after a different audience.
Yeah, I mean, one's family friendly, one's teenagers to adults.
So we'll just see Nintendo buy Microsoft or buy Xbox, right? That'll be the big merger. Could you imagine?
But here's unlike Sega wasn't backed by Microsoft. Like, Microsoft's like, cool, we can just keep throwing money at the problem and not care.
Well, yeah, as long as they're making the money.
Even if they're not, like, Microsoft is still the second largest company in the world.
Right.
Like, their war chest makes Sony look like a fart.
All right,
they can afford to fail for a while, that's for sure. For like a decade, it turned out.
You got to remember, they still got to pay for that acquisition. What was that, $68 billion?
They turned on the computers and Microsoft made back the money.
All right.
Like, now, I do want to say, may Xbox live. I hope they keep making hardware for people with their achievements and their digital purchases. I hope. Yeah, I would like there to be a hardware feature, even if only 5 million people, 10 million people buy it.
Oh, if they don't carry on my achievement somewhere, I'm going to be real upset.
Yeah,
it'll just shift into Game Pass.
I hope so.
I guess it's just another reason that trophies are better.
Yeah,
they'll be around.
You're making a solid argument, Zach.
Yeah, you are.
All right, CB, what story you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I guess somebody has to take the fall on the sword here, and BioWare's having some more bad times.
What a downer you are, God.
Yeah.
Downer Debbie here. Layoffs and employee reallocations have hit the studio. Studio has been halved, less than 100 employees left. The longest tenured writers are now gone, leaving no original writers from Dragon Age or Mass Effect. But Mass Effect 5 is still in pre-production. But at this point in time, pack it in.
But that's all they're doing, right? They're not doing more than one game at a time. They're just focusing on Mass Effect 5.
I guess I
Yeah.
should. They're calling it Mass Effect 4, right? I think I wrote this wrong because in my head Andromeda is 4, but I think
Yeah.
they keep calling
Yeah.
it Mass Effect 4, right?
Oh.
So that's my
Yeah.
bad if I wrote it
Okay,
wrong.
so yeah, Mass Effect.
I don't want any Mass Effect fans hitting us up. You know,
I mean, it makes sense.
actually,
yeah.
And it's very sad for a company that has been around for a long time,
Oh, for sure, yeah.
and like just keep folding in like. And this is the problem. Like we've all learned from so many companies in the past, don't put all your eggs in one basket. And
Yeah.
they're now committing the cardinal sin. They're like, we're only going to focus on this.
Yeah,
But
because if that fails, then what?
then they close you. And so
So
you just
I mean, they don't have any other eggs, right? The Dragon Age 4 was a disaster, seemingly from both fans and sales. So like all they have left is Mass Effect. I mean, the smart answer is probably just try to have them make a new RPG, but I don't think EA is interested in that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the next Mass Effect is only going to be bad. I don't see any world where it's even decent. Like just nobody who is integral to Mass Effect is there anymore.
It's not
they're
gonna
gonna
have the same heart in it, right?
Yeah, that's sad.
they're gonna pull an Alien 3, be like, oh, we cloned Shepard from this
Yes.
thing that we found.
Yes, it is
what do
very
you-
much
what do
going
you
to read like
flatten her?
fan fiction. Absolutely.
Like, and it's sad because like BioWare, like the company that started Baldur's Gate,
Right.
like
I mean, look at the industry. Oh, there's a lot of big name companies, big name studios that are just going down.
That's
but
true.
I mean, but like BioWare has always been like one of the companies for 30 years now.
So is Ubisoft, and look what's going on with them.
Mhm.
EA.
There's one section of Ubisoft that I like. Beyond that, I'm like, eh. I still remember every E3. Oh, it's time for Ubisoft. We're going to start with Just Dance
Oh,
Dude, that
yeah.
game sold.
every single year.
Yeah.
That game sold like crazy.
Not to me.
We literally have in our gym at my school, there's like an upper level where they've got like exercise bikes and some, different exercise equipment, and they've got a section where they have two TVs on the wall and they have Just Dance on one of those TVs. Like they still play it, man. Like it's still kind of a hit.
They still play it because you can go to like any game resale store and buy a copy of Just Dance for like $1.99.
Yeah.
I love they were still putting that game out on Wii until like 3 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because they're still out there.
But I mean, like, rather than lay all these people off, like, get some, like, lay off some of them, get some, like, creative juices going, like, come up with something new rather than just shut it down. Or what's going to happen is as they're laying all these people off, and once it gets time to, like, actually start pushing production on, like, Mass Effect, then they're like, now we got to hire them all back. And because the way things work, we're going to have to pay them even more money.
Well, it doesn't. I'm just reading the notes that you guys got here. I don't know this for a fact, but it says here that 100 employees left. Like they were reallocated, didn't like where they were reallocated, and then decided to leave.
No, I meant they like 100. Yeah, there are less than 100 employees remaining.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay, studio's been halved. So, but those. Okay, yeah, you're right. I misread what you were saying. So they're reallocated somewhere else within BioWare?
Within EA.
Within EA.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we don't have numbers on any of this because the layoff note, I don't know if you read it, was very vague and kind of dickheaded.
Mm.
Yeah, because they were just like, we need to
Aye.
focus. Everything's great over here. So,
Well, that's PR speak.
yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
it felt worse than normal. They didn't acknowledge the layoffs as a layoff. They were just like, yeah, we've made a
came
leaner
from-
team to
They came
focus
from
on the
EA.
future.
What do you want?
But see, I like what EA did in a sense that they're like, hey, like we need to trim the studio down. Like we have other things that need focus right now. So we're going to pull you out of this and plug you over here. If you still want a job.
Except of course, the writers, the most important part of BioWare. Those people are gone. Adios.
Yeah.
Well, Paul has some good news in the chat. He says, after cleaning house, it is rumored that BioWare will bring back some OG Mass Effect writers and designers for the next game after the poop show that was Veilguard. Again, that's rumor.
I was gonna say, I don't know. That's not good news. Paul, does your uncle work at BioWare?
So well, see, my thing is, if I was an original Mass Effect writer, and they're like, "Hey, we just like gutted the entire company. Would you like to come back and write for nobody?"
Yeah,
ruined ourselves.
Especially if they gotta like relocate, and like that seems like a gamble. I don't know. All right, well let's move on. Zach, you got some good news for us, or are we gonna keep on this negative train here?
Sure. The Sims is back, huh?
Oh yeah.
Never played a Sims game.
What?
No.
That was my
Boil it down,
childhood.
Scott. The Sims is literally just how evil of a person are you?
That's not, I feel like I played it straight up. I didn't use the cheat codes. I made my sim go to work.
Rosebud.
I bought the house, the hot date expansion. I remember that because I want to go on little dates in the city.
No, I refer to more like removing ladders from pools.
I understand. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
a murderer.
I did that once in a Sims game. I felt really bad though.
Wait till they put the baby in the thing and just be like, nope, that's gone now.
I was boring. I never had it in me to be an evil god.
I don't think I could do
when
it
that
either.
clown came to your house.
Oh yeah, that clown.
What?
Replace that. There was a creepy clown that would just randomly walk the neighborhood.
And you had to do something about you have a clown painting in your house, and I forget what you had to do, but that was the only way you could get rid of the clown when he came inside your house. You had to do something with the painting. Did you have to burn it? Maybe I can't remember.
This game sounds way darker than I ever knew.
There's some dark stuff in The Sims, man.
I mean, when you die, the Grim Reaper shows up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty dark. And
Replace
awesome.
all the chairs in the house with hay bales and make sure there's at least 4 fireplaces.
What the hell is wrong with you, man?
So what's the news about Sims, Zach?
The Sims Legacy Collection. They've remastered Sims 1 and 2, essentially. They put together little bundles. You can get the Sims 1 with all of its DLC for $20, or the Sims 2 with all of its DLC for $30, or you can get them together as a bundle for $40. Because, dude, it's 25 years old in The Sims, which makes me feel old because I remember being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But they worked to make sure that your old save files still work if you buy the remasters, which I think is cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Thank God I can go back to Windows 97 and pull my saves off.
Yeah, it'd be pretty great. And a lot of the mods still work too. I mean, after what was it? Bethesda, when they updated Fallout 4 recently, and it just broke all the mods. So I'm glad EA had the foresight to not do that.
Right.
I want to see somebody go dig out their exactly like their Windows 95 computer.
Yeah.
Get their saves
And,
off the floppy disk.
Yeah.
Right.
Just the hassle of saving onto a floppy, then transferring it to a computer to transfer it to a disk.
How would you transfer floppy data
To
a modern
machine,
computer?
right?
I actually have a computer just
course you
for.
Of course you do.
I still have some old games that, unfortunately, the only way you can play them is using older version of Windows.
Are you trying to play Prince of Persia 3D?
No,
He's going for Oregon Trail for sure.
I have the handheld that play Oregon
Oh,
Trail,
okay.
but
You have the standalone,
yeah,
handheld?
the standalone handheld.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you can get it on Amazon for $20.
Oh, okay.
It's great.
Is it the full original
it's the
game?
full game, man.
Man, that would bring back some memories.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. You can check it out. It's $20. But
Anybody gonna play Sims again?
No.
no,
No.
I enjoyed my time with The Sims, but
Yeah.
I don't play these mouse and keyboard games, man. It's so gross.
Is it just PC? It's not because there were some Sims games on console for a while there.
Yeah,
pets.
this is a PC situation. Yeah, no, well, they have plenty of console Sims games, yeah, but first of all, I don't think anybody would call those the definitive versions of The Sims.
Fair enough.
No.
Mhm.
I had the Sims Urban Lifestyle on the Game Boy
Yeah.
Advance.
Oh, do you mean Herbs Sims in the Sims?
yes, that
Yeah,
one.
dude,
Oh my
the
God,
Herbs.
that was
Oh.
terrible.
You know, I remember the characters on the box art look like those Bratz dolls. You see?
Yeah. I love those press dolls as
Oh.
a kid, by the way.
I don't know. I played it so much when I was a kid, and then I don't know. I found it when I was older, and I was like, why would I even touch this?
Well, there were so many less options back then.
Yeah.
You just had to
Is-
do
is-
what you can.
Is it The Sims 2 that you can get a gorilla butler? Or is that 3?
I don't know.
I don't know.
One of the Sims, once you got enough money, you put a like a tree house in the backyard, and this gorilla butler just walks into your house and starts doing things for you. But
this is not at all what I expected The Sims to be. I feel like I've been lied to about what this game is my entire life.
It's a sandbox life simulator.
Do woohoo in the rocket ship.
I was gonna say, I remember banging into bushes. Yeah, I remember that. Sorry, woohooing in the bushes for the kids out there.
Woo. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go back and look up some videos or something. I'm like,
oh man.
I
think the good one is Sims 3 because that like find the videos where they do reworks of it because they're like, if your kid is in school and a meteor strikes, they all die or something. But that was a rework they had to do because they would survive the meteor strike or something.
Whoa, these kids are and that's how they got their superpowers.
Right. You can't make woohoo with death anymore because you could romance anyone you could talk to.
Oh, there you go, Scott. Paul Hines says Sims can be played on the Steam Deck with the full expansion set. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
I just remember in the original Sims, the cheat code for plus $1,000 was Rosebud, and then you could just delete the mailbox and never get bills again.
I did not know about that one, but I did know the Rosebud cheat code.
Is that how it works in real life?
I was gonna say, yeah. Wait a second. Should I be like destroying my mailroom?
or my favorite, like Jake, did you ever build the house above the ground?
Oh yeah, I had.
So you throw you do that so then the person can't deliver the mail, or you throw a party and nobody can come inside.
No, everyone's outside just like.
Man, you guys were way more fun than I was. I was like, I'm gonna listen to the rules.
Well, I remember the first time I accidentally discovered that you could build a house above the ground because I built a 2-story house and accidentally deleted the first floor. And I'm like,
house.
For some reason my house is still floating.
How does the plumbing work? Does it just deposit into the
magic world? I have Bluetooth pipes.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
It's all digital.
Right.
You guys are legit making me want to try these games now.
Dude, Sims is a lot of fun. If you've never played it before, Scott, it's worth a play.
It is.
The worst part about it is like if you try to raise a kid and your Sim is unhappy, they will not tend to the kid. They'll just like, oh, I don't have time for this. I want to go cry.
They will ignore the child.
They'll just
it.
Also, it's like real life.
They say I didn't realize they had a simulation for my mom in the game. That's pretty cool.
Let's all hug Zach.
Childhood trauma simulator.
I wanted to mention this trailer for Breakout Beyond, which actually just dropped today. This is a remake of Breakout. If you guys remember, was it 76 when the original Breakout came out? CB?
Oh, late 70s. Didn't really become popular until like really popular until like the early 80s.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about this is that they've turned it horizontal instead of vertical, like Breakout normally is, or any of those brick-breaking games, which I look at that and I go, oh, so this is Shatter.
I was just like, no, this is like, you were like, it turns, so I'm like, Shatter?
Yeah, exactly. But I gotta toot my own horn for a second, because I watched this trailer and I was like, man, this sure sounds like Grant Henry music, and maybe it's not. Maybe he didn't do the music for the trailer, but I was like, this sure seems like something that Grant would do. Lo and behold, Grant is doing the music on this. He didn't know they were dropping the trailer already, and he confirmed that he did the sound for this game. So shout out to Grant Henry and Stemmage. It's just so cool. Whenever he gets a gig like this, it just makes me smile. Very, very happy for that dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's enough to make me want to play Breakout Beyond.
I'll probably have to support this now.
Yeah, dude, totally. Totally gonna have to pick that up for sure. So
gotta find out what his contract says. It's a percentage of every sale. We'll go buy 10 of them.
That's right. I'll buy my friends a copy.
Right.
Exactly. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into the new games that we've been playing. Zach, I'm still playing catch up, but what's new coming on the horizon?
A game about digging a hole comes to PC February 7th.
No, that's actually the title.
Yeah.
It's a title and a description all wrapped up into one. Civilization 7 makes its way to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch, and PC February 11th. Undying, a zombie survival game, comes to all consoles February 11th, getting ported from the PC. Tiny Terry's Turbo Trip, one of Grant's picks for the best games of last year, comes to PS5 and Switch February 13th. Recall Empty Wishes comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch, and PC February 13th. Slime Heroes, a slimy roguelike, or Souls-like, one of those two, comes to Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC February 13th. And then Metal Suits Counterattack comes to all consoles and PC February 13th. Jake, it sounds like a game about digging a hole is what you're into this week.
Dig your hole, dig your hole. Yeah, I don't know what's up with those weird ass games, but I don't know. I gotta play them. They're just they're so weird and like not gonna get a lot of, I don't know, attention or whatever. I give my attention to them. But I'll throw like 40 hours.
Chair simulator.
I'll throw like 40 hours into it. I don't care.
Well, all right. What about you, Alyssa?
I have 2. Undying looks like it could be really interesting. Mother and son having to, get through the zombie apocalypse.
And she's ill, right? Like, doesn't she have like a terminal illness or something?
She's infected with zombie disease.
Oh, I thought it was something else.
She's in turn.
That makes sense.
She's got tuberculosis.
Oh no, not the TV.
Make it come back. Well.
And then Recall Empty Wishes. It doesn't show you much in the trailer, like about what the game is exactly, but it looks like it'd be right at my alley. Like it's got kind of like spooky vibes, but I don't know. We'll have to see about it.
Yeah, I mean that's I thought of you when I watched that trailer for sure.
Oh, thank you.
What about you, CB?
I'm digging a hole.
Yeah,
dude.
As men are wont to do.
I saw this trailer though, like Jake said, and I'm just like, digging a hole sounds kind of fun. I don't know what it is, but sometimes like dumb games like this, you're just like, this is kind of fun.
Dumb can be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what about you, Scott? You gonna dig a hole?
No, Metal Suits Counterattack.
Lame.
Yeah, that's right.
Dig a hole with us.
Dig a hole.
I'll wait to hear what you guys say, but no, Metal Suits looks my speed of game. I can't tell where. It's everywhere. So yeah, Xbox. I may check that one out. We'll see.
Okay, you got to finish Final Fantasy first.
That's the thing is, like, I've seen a lot of games that I could actually cover this week, and I'm like, no, I really want to just focus on Final Fantasy. I'm really digging it. What about you?
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
I do think Undying looks very interesting. Even though it is a survival game, something about being there's not enough games where you're a mom. There's 100 games where you're a dad.
Yeah,
not a lot of games where you're a mom. It seems like it's gonna be a touching story as you have no choice but to die. But I gotta listen to Grant. I gotta check out what this Tiny Terrace Turbo Trip's all about.
That's a weird looking game, dude.
It looks very weird.
It is.
I could see why Grant would likes it because it gives me kind of Crazy Taxi zany energy. So I'll check it out. And according to howlongtobeat.com, it's only about 4 or 5 hours long.
Oh, hey, I'm more interested.
So that's pretty nice. Yeah, that was definitely a compelling aspect of the game when I saw
Crazy Taxi mixed with Goat Simulator. Is that fair?
yeah. Yeah, Grant kept comparing it to Grand Theft Auto, but I was getting Crazy Taxi vibes.
Yeah.
But
did you get everybody? Everybody get their say there?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Sound off. I did.
No. Don't. No.
Dig a hole.
So Zack, I know you've been really excited for this title, which is Tales of Iron 2: Whiskers of Winter. You gushed about the first game. I want to know, is this second game just as good as the first game? Is it better? Is it living up to your expectations?
Get ready to hear me gush.
Oh.
So you're actually excited about this? I thought you were just like making fun of it for the last 3 weeks.
Oh no! I mean, no. The first game was great. The second game is I would say better, but it's so close to the first game that the reason I think it's better is just because I like the setting more.
Okay.
I mean, he already finished it. You already got the platinum, right?
Oh wow!
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, speaking of short games, my save file is under 9 hours.
Oh wow!
And
That's impressive.
Yeah, so it's definitely short little plat, but a nice weekend game, as you might call it.
Yeah.
Well, you play as Arlo, son of Eivor, and he is check it, Scott. Okay, I want to let me know if you've heard this before.
Okay.
So you play as a bastard child who's son to the Warden of the North.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay, yeah.
you need to defend the border from the north because there's an evil force that no one else believes is still around, but they're actually making a comeback. You see,
Harry Potter.
And then when you know it, it's a real shame because your dad gets beheaded.
Get out.
And do you know nothing?
How has this company not been sued?
It's So the inspirations are very on the nose.
That's hilarious.
But with rats. And
is there a really short rat?
No short rat.
Is there a rat in a wheelchair?
Yeah, that's weird. They just make him king out of nowhere. So some other rat is like, dude, he's got the best story for sure. He should be king.
But for those that don't remember you talking about the original, what kind of game? This 2D side-scrolling hack and slash?
Yeah, so this is a 2D Souls-like, is how they would describe it for sure. Very, kind of very focused at melee combat, and you're looking at parry windows and dodge timing and all that stuff. And it's very boss focused. So it's certainly a 2D Souls-like. This one introduces some Monster Hunter-y elements to it.
I was waiting for the reaction.
I just punched the mic. Sorry, my bad.
Where you're tracking some beasts and you find like kind of clues on the ground before the fight that'll tell you about the enemy, so you can kind of ascertain what its weaknesses are, and then you're going to want to put on the right armor so you can stand a better chance and make sure you got the right weapons equipped and all sorts of stuff. They go down a lot faster than a Monster Hunter boss would, but you do that thing where you take like a third of its health bar away, and then you'll kind of chase after it to a different part of the map. And I think that then I'm not a huge Monster Hunter guy, but here in Whiskers of Winter, with the side quests, they actually make it feel kind of cool because you're getting that narration from Doug Cockle telling you about the story, and you're usually traveling with somebody during a lot of the hunts. So it's like kind of like a little like build up to this epic showdown with these giant beasts. So it's actually pretty fun.
Nice, and it's bloody as hell.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, bloody as hell. Beheadings are happening. You're fighting off these bats that they have like a necromancy going on too. As you might expect from the White Walkers, essentially. There's an undead dragon you have to fight, or sorry, a sky scorcher, as they call it.
Oh, sky scorcher.
But
he scorches the sky.
That's with its fire. But yeah, But overall, it is very similar to the first game. So if you didn't like the first game, you're not going to like this one. But if you like the first game, you're going to get a lot more here. This one, I think, is a lot more fun because of the areas you're going to. You're going to a lot of different animal realms. You're hanging out with the owls in the forest, for instance, or you're going to the bog marshes to interact with the frog people. It's just kind of cool, and they do a lot of interesting setup for the world and whatnot. And of course you get a grappling hook because every game needs a grappling hook.
Grappling hooks make everything better.
They sure do. And the combat is improved because they gave you invincibility frames during a dodge now. The first game didn't have that. Your iframes, that's kind of standard in most action games. So it was definitely a different feel, but once I got used to it, way into it, they did introduce a crafting system that I don't think adds much to the game. It doesn't really detract anything either. But you can like upgrade your cuirasses and weapons. My problem was like you're just always getting so much gear out in the world that I don't feel like it's super necessary.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Elden Ring crafting.
I don't really remember the crafting in Elden Ring. To be honest, I didn't interact with it a lot.
It didn't add much. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't add much here either. Especially like the best armor I could find was from hunting the monsters anyway. Yeah.
Monsters. I feel like Pee-wee, and that's just like the word of the week. And everyone says it was like, ah.
I mean, it is kind of cool when you like kill a chameleon and then you can just wear like chameleon skin armor.
That is cool.
It feels cool.
That sounds rad.
it is pretty rad.
It's called a chameleos. Thank you.
Oh, you know what? My gosh, I almost forgot. A really fun aspect of this game is you have to build back up your hometown because it gets destroyed by the dark wings at the beginning of the game, and dark. No, he does not make it. No ducks. Who knows what those guys are up to?
When in trouble, you
called GW.
Oh my lord. Anyway, so a lot of the game is you rebuilding your home back in the north.
Is it called Summerfell?
Oh no.
It's called Winter Rise.
Is it called White Whisker? I think it might be called White Whisker. I don't remember. Shame on me. But you're building it back up, which is cool because you get to actually decorate it a little bit. Just kind of a nice little feature.
Sounds like you really recommend this one.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I mean the only real downside to me is they introduced it with those elemental affinities I was talking about earlier. So if you're getting affected by the elemental thing, like you take too much lightning damage, it'll stun you in place, and you have to like tap circle a bunch to get out of the way. And it's just kind of annoying when you're trying to dodge around, and now you got to tap circle 17 times, or else you're just going to get hit. And when you get hit, you lose like half your health.
Right.
And I wish they would have come up with cleverer ways to, because that's how there are 4 elements, and succumbing to each of them, it requires you to master circle to beat it, basically. Like even if you get poisoned, it just stuns you in place. So I wish they would have like differentiated that a little bit.
It's kind of rude.
That's really the only downside.
Oh no, I'm poisoned.
Yeah, I'm trapped until I wiggle. You gotta wiggle this poison off me.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah, dude.
CB, you're at EMT. Like somebody gets poisoned.
Yes.
If I get bit by a snake,
exactly
I can just wiggle.
Yeah, just wiggle it out.
Oh no, it's a copperhead.
Yeah, so I do think overall better than the first game. I like the story more. I liked Arlo quite a bit. Our main character, he's cool. And if you're a fan of the first game, you're gonna get a lot of joy in this one.
And he's the son of who again? What's his name?
Eivor.
Wasn't that the character in Assassin's Creed? No, Assassin's Creed.
I think it's Ivor.
Ivor. Oh, okay.
Very close.
Ivor, throw the switch.
But
that's Igor.
Oh. What the hell's going on in this podcast?
These are the rails, and we've gone way off them.
Dude, they do wrap up the story here, but the setup they have for a potential third game, excellent.
Yeah,
I really hope there's a Tales of Iron 3 because what they set up for the next game is, dude, it's pretty exciting.
Does it feel like it's going to be a trilogy, or?
I would be surprised if it was not a trilogy.
Okay.
I guess it's ultimately going to depend on sales, obviously, but the way this game ends off is it's a little middle. It feels middle chaptery, not in a negative way, because it does wrap up the story it's telling, but it does a very admirable job of setting up the next one while it's at it.
That's awesome,
which is cool.
And it's only $24.99.
Yeah, dude, it's a great and a very reasonable length, as I was telling you. Yeah, you can do everything.
I mean, not everybody's as good at games as you are, man. So your 9 hours is probably like my 25, but
maybe.
Oh, don't say that, Scott.
Yeah,
you're better at games than you think you are.
No, I'm really not. If there weren't for strategy guides and online help, I would not get through a lot of these games.
I don't know, man.
Oh, Alyssa, I want to talk to you about a game you've been playing called Threefold Recital, which, just at glance of the trailer is like, oh yeah, this is an Alyssa game. Not really sure what's going on though. I see a bunch of really attractive looking animals. Like there's a wolf that's just like really buffed, and then there's like a snake that's got a snake body, but then a female upper torso. Like what is going on with this game?
Okay, so Threefold Recital, you play as 3 different animals. Triratna, if I say these names wrong, I'm so sorry. He's the buff wolf. There's, I believe, a red panda. His name is Tai King. And then Transia is the female snake creature. And they each have their own special ability. And you go through different chapters, and each chapter is a different mystery. And you're playing as a certain character in each chapter. So you'll play one chapter where you're Triratna and you're stuck in a basement. You have to figure out how to get out of the basement. And you learn his ability is to sever karma ties. And then you play as Tai King, and Tai King is a priest, but he gets pulled into police business and a murder mystery happens. And then Transia is at a haunted painting studio and she can travel through murals, and you just see how these characters all have their own unique abilities, and it's just so much fun. It's a very gentle game. It could probably be considered a cozy game, if you would like to call it that. It's got a lot of dialogue, so it has a visual novel aspect to it. It's got some very gentle platforming. I mean, I can do the platforming in this game, so it's very easy if I'm not cursing, and I'm not cursing. There are some mini games and puzzles to solve, so you got a little bit of everything in this.
The mini games cracked me up in the trailer. There's one that looks like one of those toys from the 80s where it's like a water tank with rings in it, and you squeeze the buttons to get the rings up over on top of the sticks.
Yeah, I haven't played that one yet. I'm still playing this game, but I haven't come across that. But there have been some other ones.
That brought back some memories in the trailer.
I do remember playing that though as a kid. Never won.
Well, you're playing this on Steam Deck. You said it runs great there.
It does. It runs beautifully.
Developed by Everscape Games, published by Indie Nova, and was provided to you by Jesus Fabre. It's $14.99 on Steam. If that sounds interesting, be sure to check that one out. Before we move on to our topic, I want to remind everybody about our website, thegamingoutsider.com. You can find all of our episodes there, as well as our written content. Do us a favor, check it out. We put a lot of hard work into the written stuff that we do here. But it is now time for us to go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic. It makes me so happy that we are all here for community questions. I feel like somebody's always missing whenever we do this, right? But we're all here. I get to do this once a month. We ask on our social media outlets for people to provide some questions, and we try to answer them on the show here. So we're going to kick things off over on Facebook. CB, why don't you start off?
Oh man,
Caught unawares.
No.
If anybody
my thing scrolled like all the way to the top all of a sudden.
If anybody here for the live stream has a question, they can ask it in the chat as well.
Good call.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first up on Facebook, we have Stuart Benjamin. What is the one video game that you think you've spent more hours on than any other game, not counting online games such as Call of Duty? Ooh. Unfortunately, like my largest one is online. It's called World of Warcraft, followed by EverQuest.
Not counting online games.
Not.
Yeah.
I said if those were included, that would be the order in which they
If
are.
I disregarded your question and instead answered my own, what would be
the next closest thing I can think of would be Fallout 4.
3 was going to be mine.
One
of mine.
4 Binding of Isaac.
Oh yeah, good call. I mean, Pinball FX for me, but I feel like that doesn't count. But yeah, Fallout 3. It's a game.
Like it would count, right? Or I guess you're not counting it because like a score chase game, or
yeah, it's kind of it's technically online because I'm chasing scores against other people. But
okay, all right.
I mean, at that point in time, I would just say Galaga.
Yeah, that's true. But Baldur's Gate. By good lord, Fallout 3.
Words are a problem for Scott right now.
Speaking of the words,
Fallout 3 is a long game, and I played through that game twice to get all of the achievements, like to play both evil and good sides. So
you've got 40 hours into it,
and I feel like that took me over
and the
100
neutral
hours.
Ones.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, not all of us play thousands of hours of a single game like you.
You might save me to the end.
I mean, at this point, Balatro.
It's got to be getting up there, right?
And I'm only at like 38% of completion of that game, which is nuts to me.
Oh,
but
speaking of which, Scott, because I know you've asked me before, I did hit that number.
Oh, where you started getting exponents?
Yeah, I got stupidly high into the exponents.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alyssa, what about you? What game do you think you've put the most time in?
It's one of two. It's either Skyrim or it's Animal Crossing New Horizons. Both of them were in the 200-hour mark. I
Mhm.
just don't know which one had more. So it's one of those two.
I need to get back into Skyrim again before I start forgetting how to play. I don't want to
I
give up
spent
on
too
that
much time
game
on
again.
that.
Swing the sword, heal.
Don't let it get away from you, man.
I know, right? Seriously. Paul Hine had a question in the comment. He said, some of you are Steam Deck folks. Other than Switch 2, what features or specs would it take for you to get a new handheld?
Dude, Jake and I got skipped on the last question.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, hold that thought.
Just
Zach.
saying.
Zach, what game have you spent most hours in?
Well, I just hit 366 hours in Red Dead Redemption 2.
I saw that coming.
Oh.
I think that's
Pretty-
why I just instinctively skipped, because we all knew the answer.
Yeah, much like we instinctively know Jake's answer.
Yeah.
Well, I have questions.
Okay,
We have
well,
answers.
let's say the other one I would think of would be Sands of Time, because I beat it hundreds of times when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way to track those numbers, and you can beat that game in like 3 hours when you played it as much as I did anyway.
Do you mean literally hundreds of times?
Yes, surely,
Wow.
literally hundreds of times. Yeah,
Yeah, it's got to be up there then.
I have guided friends through the game over the phone.
So,
Yes, go left.
So when a remake comes out, I wonder if it's going to be the
Right,
same.
There'll be a microscopic difference, and I'll be like, they screwed it up.
Yeah. Right.
Or they're just gonna mess with Zack and mirror everything.
That would
Instead of
be
going
funny.
left, you go right this time.
Yeah, that probably would damage my brain.
Oh, that'd be fun to witness, though.
Yeah.
Watching Zach doing that.
What about you, Jake? What are your questions? You had questions?
Okay, so does it have to be on the same game, even though it's in the same series?
So you're
I
talking
would
about your
say
20,000. You're talking about your 20,000 hours of Monster Hunter? Is that the franchise?
I've been playing Monster Hunter since day one. I bought it on the release in 2014 or 2004. My bad. I have capped out hours in the save menus or the save files 4 or 5 times on different games on Monster Hunter, which they cap out at 1,000. So
Whoa.
that's at least 5,000 hours in Monster Hunter. But I mean, that's spanning different games over different times.
Do you know which Monster Hunter you played the most?
Oh God,
I guess it's all-
probably Freedom 2.
Okay.
That was kind of it was on the PSP. And I
Yeah.
had a lot of freedom. I had a lot of freedom playing that game. So I did it at school. I did it at home. I did it wherever I could, as often as I could. The next one up from that, or I guess down from that, would probably be Factorio.
Okay.
Steam says I have 5,000 hours into it. I don't believe that. I think it's closer to 3,000 hours. And the one right
Well, it sounds like splitting hairs on the surface, but that is 2,000
Yeah.
extra hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3,000 hours though, dude. Oh my God.
The one below that would probably be Project Zomboid. I've got probably about 1,500 hours into that.
Dude, I'm putting up rookie numbers on Red Dead too.
And then
Me
the
too.
one I'm trying to think of which one is under that. Oh, Skyrim. Skyrim's probably got 800 hours in it. So
I thought you didn't like Skyrim. Every time I bring up Skyrim, you scoff.
oh yeah, because I laugh because I've done everything in that game like 5 times.
Oh, okay.
I do laugh that Paul Hines says any person who's played an MMO is laughing at hours measured in 3 digits.
I played Call of Duty for probably 5 hours a night, if not longer, a night for 7 years. So, and that was Call of Duty 2.
Well, I
Or,
mean,
Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare 2. Yeah,
I was
World
gonna
of,
say, Call of
World of Warcraft. Pull up the World of Warcraft numbers. Let's do it.
All right, so since we've caved it on the online anyway, Scott, I feel like both of our answers, if we included online, would be Gears of War 2, right?
Probably, man. That was
Yeah.
there was like a good 2 years. That was just like every night of every week we were getting some
Right.
hours in.
Got room.
okay. I stopped playing World of Warcraft in 2010.
Okay.
My hours on one character alone
Oh,
was
no.
over 6,500 hours. That
I'm
was
glad
on
you stopped.
one character.
Sounds like a problem.
Stop. Get some help.
Like my
Is that
wife
Michael
was
Jordan?
huh?
Stop. Get some
Get
help.
some help.
Yeah.
Like
even my wife brought it up. She's like, because she found like a couple of my old World of Warcraft posters. She's like, I remember when you used to come home and play that for like 10 hours a night.
Wow, she married you anyway, though. Huh?
Right?
Yep.
Man.
You were definitely selling me on never playing an MMO. Like I need that satisfaction of completion, and I just apparently you don't get that in those games.
No, you really do. The problem is, like once you climb that mountain and you get to the top, and then it's just like, okay, I'm gonna do my daily quest. Like that stupid phone game that you were like, I gotta do my dailies, man.
Oh yeah, dude, I remember that game. We were in LA.
I forgot what it was called. It was like the 3 crystals on either side of the map.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
But that's the problem is like once you get to that point in the game where it's like, okay, I got to do my dailies to maintain like this so I can keep progressing. Like when the next expansion comes out, that's where my problem like hit. I was just like, I'm spending so much time to maintain the slight edge that I have. So when the next expansion comes out, I can be like just a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to finish a game and move on. I mean there's something to be said about that. Like if you're paying the $15 a month,
Gotta
and
get your
that's
money's worth.
all you're playing, you're spending less money than
$15 a month for Game Pass.
right.
Are you playing at least one Game Pass game a month?
No.
Mm-mm.
Failure.
$15, little
Not
man.
getting your money's worth.
In my hand.
If that money doesn't show
Yo,
that
yo, yo, yo.
Whoa. Whoa.
More stay in the times.
What just happened?
Oh man.
Oh, God.
Jacob's
Oh,
wife just
God.
dropped and entered the chat and said,
hello, Tundra Pong champion
Tundra
Melinda
Pong.
Gunderson.
Yes. Yeah, she won Tundra Pong this past weekend. It's a beer pong tournament we have at my house every year for those that aren't familiar. Mindy says it was easy to do that with WoW. I had more hours than I cared to think of over the 7 years I played. So yeah.
Oh, so that's why Jake's still married. His wife also plays. Okay.
Yes. And she's a solid player. Played some Diablo 4 with her and Jake one night many moons ago.
Well, she
All
plays
right.
Monster Hunter with me, so
Look at you, man. Okay, everybody answered now? Am I okay? Did I forget anybody?
Yes, you can move on.
no, I
I
think
like
we're good.
I like how he acts like we're the assholes.
No,
Right.
I apologize. It's hard.
Am I good, guys? Can I move on now, please?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard to keep this
Okay
flowing
with
with
you.
5 people. All right. Paul Hines' comment was, some of you are Steam Deck folks. Other than Switch 2, what features or specs would it take for you to get a new handheld? Legion Go 2, Claw 8, ROG Ally X2? He's saying a bunch of handhelds I'm not even familiar with. So familiarity, I guess, would be my answer. I mean, I know the ROG Ally and things like that, but what do you think, guys? What would get you to go from a Steam Deck or a Switch 2 to one of those?
I mean, I was just gonna say I'm not a spec person. I don't keep track of them. So I'm very much not someone to ask like about specs because I have no clue. I'm just like, as long as it runs.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it would just be the games that had on it, or if it was, easier to play on than the Steam Deck, which the Steam Deck is super easy to play on. So I don't see how that'd be possible. But
ease of setup is big. The Switch is so nice to turn on and just drop in that slot and then just have it on your TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be huge. That's just, I mean, and I know the Steam dock is a thing. Still haven't got mine to work correctly. So
I never bought one.
Probably more of a me problem in that instance. But I mean, ideally, one that I could play any of my stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
If I could play my Xbox games, my PlayStation games, my Switch games,
Yeah,
and my
that'd be
Steam
awesome.
games, just on one handheld thing and take them with me wherever I go instead of carrying my Steam Deck and my Switch with me whenever I travel, and then still not be able to play my Xbox games. That's, but I know that's never going to happen. That's just it's just a big dream. So
I was gonna say, as for me, the only handheld I would get besides the Steam Deck 2 would be if it had a PlayStation branding and it let me install my digital purchases on the machine itself.
right.
Something I can think of that would get me. Otherwise, I'm good to just live in the Steam Deck and Switch ecosystems.
I kind of am as well.
Me too.
CB?
Does it have VR support?
Oh my god. VR support on a mobile device.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I don't have a Steam Deck. I can't remember the last time I turned on my Switch. Like,
Really?
yeah, dude. Like, I have a Switch OLED that is still brand new in the box. I've never opened it.
Why'd you buy it?
I won it at Tilt.
Oh my god. It's
So
not even like about the prizes for you. It's just the fact that you can win something, right?
Yeah, I won it out of a claw game. What can I say, man? I'm really
You want
good
to
at 'em.
switch out of a claw game?
Yeah, I've won a Switch, an iPad, a Coach purse.
Have you gotten banned from Tilted 10 yet?
No. I just like walk through it. I'm like, oh look, claw game, win, cash out, just walk out.
That's nuts.
You-
Anyway.
You've watched me do it,
I have, yes. Yeah.
but
Totally.
I mean, like, but now I can play my Xbox like Game Pass on my MetaQuest 3, so I
Mhm.
don't require a handheld.
I'm just picturing CB sitting in the car while his wife's driving. He's got his VR helmet strapped to his head, playing a game.
I mean, I can use my phone as a hotspot too, so I can have online access everywhere. I don't.
Jake?
Speaking of which, I forgot to mention this at the top of the thing. MetaQuest has a subscription service, which I signed up for.
Like a Game Pass only for
Like a
VR
Game
games?
Pass. It's $60 a year, and it gives you access to like over 40 games, and they constantly rotate it.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
So, trying that out.
Jake, did you have a answer for that question from Paul?
I have probably one of the weirdest thing it's been bugging me for a couple of years now. I need a removable battery because when I had my PSP, the first one I had, I broke, and so it still ran and it still charged the battery. So when I got my second PSP, I would run that thing into the ground, save my game, turn it off, take the battery out, put it in the broken one, charge that one, take the one that I've been charging in the broken one, throw it in the one that I'm playing on, and then I would go right back to town. And so, you know, all of these new systems are getting integrated batteries, so you have to put them up somewhere to charge them.
I'm actually like in 100% agreement with you, Jake, because that is the one thing that slows me down with like the MetaQuest 3 or even the Switch is I don't like to sit there and have things plugged in.
Yeah, I think the one great thing that came out of an Xbox controller, in my opinion, was the removable batteries. Like the PS3, the PS3 controller, the PS4 controller, the PS5 controller, they all have integrated batteries. I'm not opening that thing up every time I want to change the battery out.
Which is
You can't just plug it in and play.
That's what I was going to ask.
And I want to.
but that's the thing is
it's-
I bought a wireless controller for a reason.
What the hell?
I mean, it'll take you, 30 minutes to charge it while you're playing, and then
Well, I don't know. The Steam Deck shows their charges very slowly. I feel
the Xbox 360 had a removable battery pack that was chargeable with a stand that you threw it in and you could charge it. You could buy two and just switch it out and go right back to playing, and it was fine.
I've got the same thing. I just set I got two controllers. I set one down in the charger cradle, and then I grab the one that's charged and I play that one.
But
Okay,
even so, if you're playing a handheld console, though, you don't need to worry about a controller because it's in your hand, right?
But
So why
but
don't you
the
just plug
battery
it
still
in?
drains.
Just plug it in. Just plug it in.
Well, but I'm tethered to a cord. Maybe I don't have a plug-in where I'm at.
Get it. Come on.
Portable
Go to an
battery.
airport. How many times have you gone to an airport and you're fighting over like the one plug on the wall?
That's why I bring a portable battery.
You get an extension cord? I don't know, man. It seems like a very
Extension
solvable problem.
My 3DS died on a plane while I was playing Soul Silver. I was angry.
Jacob just comes into the airport with like a wad of like a roll of extension cable, like an industrial extension cable. It's like,
He's got a spool.
Looking at the guy next to me, how hard are you going to make this on me? Like, am I going to have to walk?
I think at that point in time, just start bringing like a power strip and just be like, we can share, folks.
I was going to say, you could be somebody's best friend at an airport.
Yeah.
I was say the power strip, you really could make some friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why haven't I never thought of that? Just have like
you could be the
doesn't
power
take up
strip
that
guy.
much space in your bag.
Yeah.
$5 to plug in. Monetize. You got a need. I got.
No, that's well. What an American viewpoint.
No dongle Gunderson.
Like that money.
Let's go on to our next question. Alyssa, why don't you take this one?
Okay, over on Discord, Jockey-san asks, what are your thoughts on buying video games digitally? Do you get them when they are new and really want to support the developers, or do you wait later on when they're on a sale? Personally, I don't have a problem buying games digitally. Save space physically. And oftentimes you can find digital games on sale faster than you can physical games. Not always the case, but I usually wait, though, unless it's a game I'm super anticipating. I'll wait for a sale because I don't make that much money.
Mm-hmm.
So I need games to be on sale. So I usually don't pay full price. I usually wait for a sale before I buy a game digitally.
I pay full price for a game when it's something that's really big that I'm really excited for. Or if it is a indie developer that I really want to support. If it's something I'm just like on the fence, I wait for a sale. I mean, we all have backlogs, right? Like I've got I probably have the biggest backlog of anybody in this room right now. I always have something to play. Well, that's not true. CB.
You aren't even in the ballpark, son.
Yeah. What about you, Zach? I know you're a digital guy, or you're a physical guy, rather.
I say, I don't think I've bought a single full price digital game.
Oh, really?
Like not a $60 or $70 game.
Oh, like you bought indies or something like that.
Yeah, like I'm more than happy to buy indie games if full price, of course. Yeah, usually there's no way to get a physical version anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you wait around for a limited run. In that case, like Tales of Iron, I was perfectly happy to pay $25 for a great little rat game, murder game.
Rat murder game.
But there is certainly something mental where I just can't yet stomach paying $60-$70 for a digital game. There's something I need that disc to feel like it's
removed at any point.
Right. Yeah. It's also just, I don't know, it's such a big number to not feel like I need that tangible thing to make it feel like I actually got something, I guess.
Yeah.
And I do like using my space to have a library of video games. Makes you feel good.
Jake, I don't even know where you land on the digital versus physical thing.
It depends on the game. If it's something that I want to collect, I want a physical copy of it, of course. That makes more sense. I've collected lots of video games from, my childhood or, even today, that I want to hold it in my hand. I want to be able to look at it while I'm not sitting at the computer or the PlayStation or what have you. And again, being able to never have it revoked from my usage is another huge thing of why I like physical. Being able to show them off, like, hey, I have this, or hey, I have that. Like, it's just, it's a joy to have those things physically in your possession versus digitally, because then I just feel like it's just, you're not enjoying the gaming, for whatever reason that it used to be, and now it's different. Now it's just a Netflix. Now it's just whatever have you, and it's just there. And again, if your internet goes out, if your subscription ends, if whatever have you happens, your game is gone. You don't get to play that game
offline.
Right? They take the servers offline. Your game is gone, and so there's a huge thing about having it physical for me. And so depending on the game, if it's it comes out $70 and I really, really want to play that game, I might buy it. But most of the time, like I have No Man's Sky on the PS4, and I have been like eyeing it down for like 3 or 4 years now, and waiting. I mean, it goes on sale all the time, but I keep going, well, do I really need it on the computer? Do I really want to spend that extra money to put it on the computer? But like at some point I'm going to crack. And I'm
What game is that?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Oh
yeah. There's so many more updates on the computer than there are on the console.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, it would make a world of difference to play that game actually digitally than it would physically.
Gotcha.
So it all depends on what it is, what it ends up being.
All right, Jake, why don't you take the next comment or question?
Skips me entirely.
Oh, Chris, take the next one.
We know your answer. All physical, all the way.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Congrats. You win. You got the answer.
It says his like 10,000 collection physical. Yeah.
But again, Scott, from the standpoint of somebody who may not have listened, it's a preservation thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point too.
I mean, plain and simple. Like I now have a small section in the game room of games that I have physical copies of that you can't play anymore because they were just like, nope, delist them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Concord was the most recent ad, but
yeah.
Oh, Concord.
But I mean, it from a memory standpoint, like that's why I like physical. Do I buy games digitally? Yes, because I game share with you.
Mm-hmm.
However, some of those games I may have still gone and bought a physical version.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Star Wars Outlaws physically?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
but
did you go wait? Do you wait till they go on sale then?
But see, that's the thing is like with some of them, I can wait
mm-hmm.
and buy the physical version because I'm like, okay, I can find this cheaper. But with some games like a Concord or Celeste, like I know I'm not going to find this for a reasonable price, like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road.
I got a copy of Celeste physical. I think you gave it to me as a gift. Did you not?
Gave it to you.
Yeah.
Because that was
it's like a steel book and everything.
Because that's when I went nuts and I was just like, buy 2 copies for PS4, buy 2 copies for Switch.
Yeah.
And it paid off.
I appreciate that. I love that game so much. Oh, I want to replay that game now.
It was good. You just can't play their follow-up.
No. Well, not yet.
No.
Sean Coates writes. What? Sean Coates writes, as I'm tying up loose ends on Astrobot, it got me thinking, what are some of the other games that stand out in their own right, but also serve as a celebration to their franchise or legacy? I'd say Sonic and All-Star Racing Transformed. Not only is it a great alternative to Mario Kart, but it also embraces Sega's legacy beyond the Sonicverse, featuring characters and locations from other Sega properties.
Hell yeah, dude. That game's got Ryo Hazuki in a forklift.
The Sonicverse.
Is it like Sonic Origins? There's like one of the Sonic games where it's like they have like a bunch of them and you have to like run from left to right across the screen.
Sonic Generations.
That's okay.
That's one I played. I played for a Patreon episode.
Yeah. Dude, you should play Shadow Generations. It's better.
I've thought about it. Yeah. Yeah. I actually have a copy of Sonic 3. I haven't watched it yet. Looking forward to that.
Dude,
so
that's pretty good.
Is it good?
Oh man.
Maybe this weekend I'll watch that one. How about Smash Brothers? Does that count?
Yeah, well, that feels like the ultimate answer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pulling in from multiple different games, genres, and areas to.
Well, I mean, the original was just Nintendo characters, right? Like the one on Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And then by the time they got to
the current version,
yeah, Ultimate has like Sonic is in that.
But at that point in time, then you can bring
Solid Snake.
Well, I mean, Snake was originally on a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking Metal Gear, yeah?
Yeah. Metal Gear and then Snake's Revenge.
Yeah.
With Michael Bean on the cover that said it was not Michael Bean.
Gear?
Yeah. But I mean, at that point in time, you can also say like you could say Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat.
Soul Calibur was a good one. I wasn't thinking of that.
Well, yeah, there's a deep cut for you.
Yeah.
But like Mortal Kombat has just turned into like that now. Yeah. You have Dead by Daylight, the Atari 50 collection.
Well, I don't think the Atari 50 stands up as its own game though.
Well, the one that I know I remember, and I Zach and I have talked about this before, but Game Room.
Oh yeah,
on the 360.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's neat.
I am still pissed that Microsoft didn't continue with that. That was like one of my favorite little things. Be like because that was like the first time like you could invite your friends into your game room and be like, play the games that I've unlocked.
Right, you can like decorate it or arrange it, and you could get like Atari games for like $2 a pop or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. Cool.
I bought almost every single one of them.
Yeah, and I am not surprised to hear that. Yeah, that's why you can't buy digital, man. They'll get you.
And yeah, like I got burned on that one, and I loved it because it had the original arcade cabinet artwork.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was a beautiful thing, and I'm still mad that they got rid of it.
Can't we bring that stuff back? Like that's just a cool idea. Social aspect of it.
It's like a better time than ever, really.
Like, could you imagine like your avatar standing in front of an arcade cabinet playing a game, and then like your buddy standing next to you watching you, and like just comes and puts a quarter on the. Dude,
it was you could essentially do that.
Yeah,
but it was fun because like if you could like. You'd go in there and play on your own, but it would have your friends' avatars just walking around, but it would have like a little asterisk next to them if they're actually online. So that's like cool. You just be like, oh, look, like Scott's in here playing some of my games. This is really cool.
So they didn't have to pay for the games in your library. They could just come into yours and play them.
I paid for the rights for them. Like that was the coolest thing about it.
Yeah, that would never fly nowadays.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to say Dissidia is a good one of this. If you ever played Dissidia, the Final Fantasy fighting game, specifically Duodecim on the PSP was awesome. Played the hell out of that game because that one had lightning. She was fresh at the time. She was cool. But it's like all the protagonists fighting and then all the antagonists. They had like a little story mode. That's where I learned it was pronounced Zidane, not Zidane, as I had pronounced it my whole life. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool because characters that had never had a voice before had one.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty neat. Yeah, those games were great.
What about Kingdom Hearts?
Oh yeah.
Hey, I guess that is true.
Right? Disney.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Celebrating two legacies while also being its own thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a very good point. Do you think that's a good game, though, Scott?
I didn't personally like it. I tried the first one and I got really annoyed with the combat. I played 3. I think I finished 3.
That's really weird. That's a wild way to go about that franchise.
Well, yeah.
I guess if you don't like it, jump straight to 3 and 6.
Well, I wasn't doing a podcast when Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 came out.
But 3, which is also actually like 9 in terms of continuity.
Yeah. Well, you know, you add all the fractions, then it's
that's right. But unlike other franchises, those are essential parts of the story.
Right.
There's also Jump Force.
Oh yeah.
Is that a celebration?
For fans of those franchises, it was just unfortunately packaged in a shiny turd.
I think it was more of a Comedy Central roast than it was any kind of celebration of.
I don't remember Jump Force. What was Jump Force?
It was anime
crossover
characters,
from the Shonen Jump manga.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the One Piece dudes hanging out, the Dragon Ball dudes hanging out, But I think was
used
Light
like horrible cell shading for it.
Wasn't Light Yagami the villain?
Yeah,
that's a cool touch, though.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
so the one anime I've seen.
So yeah, there was some really good ties into it, but it was just executed so unfortunately.
That's what I remember.
All right, we got one more. Zach, you want to take the last?
Oh, I was going to say one.
Oh, I am just skipping everybody.
Scott's just like stomping on everybody tonight.
Right.
I was going to mention the theater rhythm games because they pay homage to Final Fantasy's incredible music throughout all the games that were released prior to those games being released. And they also had little chibi versions of the characters from all the games as well. So it was adorable. You got to play through the incredible music. They would use cutscenes behind the music sometimes, so you'd see the in-game cinematics. It was just a celebration of Final Fantasy's music and its history in general.
That's a good call.
I also feel that Final Fantasy Bro Trip was the same way for that.
15 because of your radio stations? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
I don't care what number it is. It's always going to be Final Fantasy Bro Trip.
Well, that game gets a whole extra point because you listen to Nier music on the radio. Drew Ross writes in, with tariffs to affect electronic costs going forward, will this change your gaming habits when prices go up? So we know this crisis was averted. Right.
Well, at least for 30 days.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, it would affect. I mean, the jump from $60 to $70 already has affected my purchasing habits, and that's only $10, and that's really them keeping up with inflation, and so you can't really fault them. But however, my dollar does not stretch as far as it did, 10 years ago.
You got to go to Walmart.
What about it? What?
You buy new games at Walmart, they're $10 cheaper.
Oh, I forgot about that.
But they're not selling games anymore,
yes, they are.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh, they are? I thought they were getting rid of them.
No, it's Best Buy and Target that are like, no, we're not going to. Walmart's like, fine, because Walmart is all aboard the physical train right now because they just got they now do releases for like Scream and Arrow for movies.
Oh, that's cool.
So I just went to Walmart the other day and I was like, oh look, Scream Factory releases. Thank you.
Oh, you mean Shout Factory?
No, Scream.
Well,
there's Shout Factory and then Scream Factory is the horror division.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. I stand corrected.
So like I was surprised by that. I walked by and I'm like, are those Scream Factory like Steelbook editions?
Arrow's cool. Arrow's got a lot of cool stuff.
I know.
But anyway, that's the thing. So anyway, yes, it would affect my decisions. Sorry.
It probably would for me as well, but at the same time, if games got so expensive, I would just go. I would just play my backlog, guys.
I would say it'd be a gift in disguise.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at that point, if I got to play something in a review, I'll just wait until someone wants me to review it badly enough to shoot me a code. You know what I mean? And that'll be my new games. I'm set. Just my JRPGs alone would last me for the next 5-6 years if that's all I played.
Yeah.
So, and then there's games that I've not played. Like, wasn't there an episode we talked about, like, what games did we miss over the years? I mean, you guys mention games all the time that I've never touched that everyone just raves about and that I need to go try. If games get that, I mean, I feel like if games went up that much because of the situation that's going on with the political side of things, it's going to correct itself eventually, and I'll just be in catch-up mode.
Yeah. Well, I also think that if this is where things like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and like Meta Plus all shine, is
always got something to play.
There's always going to be something to play, and it's probably not going to affect the price that much.
Well,
for that,
I don't know. I think you're being a little hopeful about the price of Game Pass not going up.
Yeah, but here's the great thing about Game Pass. If the price keeps going up and up and up, people just unsubscribe. Like, look at the mass exodus coming from Netflix right now.
Yeah, wouldn't they go to like $25 a month, and then you still can't see everything?
Yeah, you can't see everything, and there's ads. And like I was just like, nope, I'm done with Netflix. The moment they threw ads on there, I was like, gone.
Yeah. Don't pay, especially when there's so many services and some people subscribe to more than one.
Yeah. Or again, the nice thing is physical.
Yeah,
be like, oh, I can rewatch because Netflix doesn't update their stuff that often. So they got like the 10 new movies that they put out once a quarter. But for horror movies, you got Shudder. There's Hulu, Disney Plus. Now that they have like Max and Hulu tied into it is a lot better.
Yeah, we're not wanting for media to consume.
Right.
There's going to always be something to watch. There's going to be something always to play. There's going to be something always to read. You know what I mean? There's just
reading. How old-fashioned.
Well, the sad thing is with like Netflix, if you want to throw ads and want me to pay $25 a month, there's this other service called Tubi that's free because they put ads in there.
Yeah.
I don't see Tubi going like they've cornered their market on like, we're the free to play. Like you're just gonna have to deal with ads like you would if you watched old school air channels.
Right. So we're just going back to the wheel. Yeah.
Just
like everyone's like, man, I wish we could just have like subscriptions for this. And then we get them and then everyone's like, can't we just go back to everything?
No, because the problem is it was a good idea. And then they're like, no, we're gonna find a way to ruin it.
Yeah. That's pretty much.
Yeah, but I'm also not paying like $80 a month for DirecTV to also have ads with Tubi. So
That's a good point.
Yeah.
but
I'm confused. I pay like what $15.50 a month for Netflix and don't have ads. I don't understand what's
it's changing.
happening.
Yeah, it hasn't changed yet, but they announced it's
I
going.
think
to
it's
go
like
up.
next month or the following month. Like you're gonna start being locked out of like certain movies and TV series.
Oh, at the middle tiers.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I know they have like the 4K tier or whatever. That's more.
There's
I don't
the
do
top.
that.
They're restructuring. There's the top tier, the middle tier, and then the lowest tier.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
And-
this isn't a Netflix podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
All I can ask about this off the air.
But at the same time, what are you talking about? DirecTV, Tubi. I can just watch on my phone.
I watch Tubi on my shelf every night. She's so pretty.
Alyssa, did you get a chance to respond there? I don't want to.
I mean, yeah,
I don't want to step on anyone's toes here, but
I mean, I don't buy games that often anyway, so it wouldn't really affect my game purchasing because I don't buy them a lot in the first place. But I mean, if they did go up in price, I'd be buying them less.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty much the same as you guys.
Did I miss anybody?
I don't think so. I guess you did. I forgot about them too.
on the last one too. Thanks, I appreciate that. But in short, no. Not that I'm, going out and buying like every new game out there and whatnot. But I mean, if I buy 1 or 2 new games like every 4 months, it's not going to really affect it that much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to care. I'd still buy them because I want the game. Like,
right.
If I'm willing
you'll
to
make
go out of my
sacrifices elsewhere. You know what I mean? If it's a game you really want, right?
Yeah. And no, I won't make any sacrifices. I don't do sacrifices.
He just cranks out some more internet content of himself.
Right.
What the hell did you? What?
Oh,
Only
Get on my-
flaps.
yeah.
Only flaps.
Get on my OnlyFeed account and
Oh man. Hit the link, I guess.
look at them toenails. Ugh.
Dude, I don't pat ourselves on the back very often, but we got through a directly political topic without getting political.
Yeah,
You know, I'm just saying that counts for something these days.
it does. I feel like that is something that a lot of people do not have the ability to do,
Yeah.
at least on
Hey.
social media.
It's been our core, man. Like we don't do it.
Yep,
You can have a perfectly good conversation without going political.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Thanks to
and,
everybody.
going back to Sean Coates' comment real quick. Whatever PlayStation was doing like 10 years ago with their ads, they need to start doing it again.
Oh,
All of those ads felt so good.
Oh, like the bar ads were like everybody's in the bar.
Oh yeah.
you know what's a
Everyone-
severely underrated celebration of legacy? PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. That game kicked ass. It was better than Smash Brothers, and I mean it.
Sure.
Way better.
That's a good call out. That's a good call out.
Well, thanks to everybody that wrote in with the questions. I always look forward to these episodes each month, so stay tuned for March, the first episode in March, when we'll do the same thing. As of next week, we kind of talked about it. I want to just go ahead and lock it in now, guys. We talked about Microsoft last week. What do we want from them? Do we want to talk about what do we want from Sony
Yeah.
next week? Let's go ahead and do that next time.
Oh, boy.
That's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Thanks so much for listening. This episode was produced by Kevin Honigford. All the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemmage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemagemusic.com. STEMAGE music.com.
Don't we have credits for this now?
Yes,
We haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
He still likes to just talk.
I
Right.
don't talk, man.
I like to hear
Email
myself
us. If you'd like to email us, feedback at thegamingoutsider.com. Before we get out of here, Zach, any parting words or recommendations for our listeners?
Well, I feel cautious now, but Netflix put
Yeah.
a great little Western American primeval starring Taylor Kitsch, and it was a very good show. Very brutal. I mean, nobody's got plot armor in American Primeval, which is
Plot armor?
Yeah, like none of our main characters are safe from anything.
Gotcha.
I was gonna say, please tell me you're not on a video game podcast and don't know what plot armor is.
Apparently, yes, that is true.
I've never heard the term.
The plot does not make any conveniences to save any of the characters. Horrible things happen to our main characters. It's only 6 episodes long, so it's very digestible. Only 6-hour show. But it's really a lot of fun as long as you like grim stuff. Anyway,
sounds good. Alyssa?
Well, also in my Korean corner, I also have to mention Netflix, which I'm like, please don't affect the Korean content. But Bloodhounds, it was great. I loved it. It's got boxing, loan sharks, badass fight sequences, amazing action sequences. Like if you're wanting to get into K-dramas, this one is one of the ones I would suggest, just because it feels more in line with what is currently out there right now. It's really good, really powerful. It's emotional. It's great. I loved it.
Nice. Jacob.
Yes.
Me and my wife have actually been watching The Rookie. We watched it for the first 3 or 4 seasons before they started updating them. I don't even remember what service we're watching them on, but either way, we watched it through, and now we're re-watching them to catch up so we can start watching the new episodes that are coming out. And that show's really good. I like that show.
Nice.
Wow, you did something that wasn't video games.
I know. Well, that's only if you know what my setup in my room looks like. It's my TV and then her TV, and she's watching The Rookie, and I'm watching The Rookie vicariously
while you're playing a game.
while I'm doing something else.
That's amazing. And CB,
I have a new show to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, do you like the show 24?
Never seen it. My wife is watching it currently, though.
He's watching 25.
I like 24.
You like 24? There's
you should listen to 24 Live Another podcast, a weekly 24 podcast all about Live Another Day, the hit new miniseries sequence of 24.
Well, no. So
I'm sorry, what just happened?
I had a podcast about 24 years ago. I don't even think it's online anymore.
My wife found a TV show which she and I both have kind of fallen into, called The Pit.
Okay, yeah, and I've seen the ads for the. My TV keeps advertising The Pit to me. It's
a medical drama in the same vein as like ER, but every episode is 1 hour of a 14-hour shift.
I've heard about
as an ER doctor. So
is the whole season just the one shift then?
It's the one shift.
Dude, that's actually pretty cool. I'm intrigued.
And the main character is one of the main characters from the original ER.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, okay, I can get behind this. And
the actual character or just the actor?
Just the actor.
Oh, okay.
Like it's funny because he played a doctor in a different show, and now he's playing a doctor again in an ER.
Trust me, I play a doctor on TV.
But it's surprisingly one of the more medically accurate shows that I've seen.
I'm sure that doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't. There's a couple mini things that I watch on YouTube where doctors break down how bad TV shows are, and they're all on board. This is probably the closest we've seen to a legit medical drama that actually fact checks themselves.
Well, did you say the stuff in House was accurate?
There are some, but the problem is there are no pathology departments that function like that.
Mm-hmm.
After the first episode, he would have been fired. Yeah. But the actual treatments and certain things that they do for some of those rare medical cases, those actually exist.
Interesting.
But Tim Pollin says Noah Wiley. But he and his wife are watching as well. Dude, it's really good.
Yeah.
So nice. I would give it a whirl. It's on Max.
My wife and I are in season 4 of House. That season premiere was awesome. I don't know if you remember the episode, but it's the one where it opens with a girl that's in a building when it explodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the boyfriend is, trying to do what he can to keep her alive, and the mom and all that. And there's a killer twist at the end of that episode, but it was awesome. I got a recommendation as well. Apparently, we're all doing movies and TV shows this week. Aaron Peterson over at the Hollywood Outsider invited me to review a film with him. As you guys know, I do a Packers podcast called Packers Fan Podcast, and this movie is called Green and Gold. So it's obviously very Green Bay Packers charged. It is Coach. Why can't I think of his name?
Lombardi.
No, the comedy show with Coach from like the 80s. The actor that plays Coach. My God, why can't I think? Craig T. Nelson. Craig T. Nelson plays a farmer in Wisconsin, and he refuses to update his to modern stuff, and he's about to get overtaken by the bank that owns the farm. So the banker jokingly says, "Hey, tell you what, if the Packers make it all the way to the Super Bowl and win it, I'll give you a 1-year extension on your loan. And if they don't, then you owe all the money tomorrow." And it's on the surface, it sounds like it's a funny movie, but it is totally a drama, absolutely a drama. And it actually doesn't even focus around just him. His granddaughter is an aspiring musician that is also running the farm with her. And it's a very, very touching story. Yes, it has football in it, but it is not a football movie. Really, really highly recommended. It's a good watch. It's really funny because the movie is sponsored by Culver's. So there's there's Culver's wrappers like on the dash. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh, and Charlie Barron's is in the movie. If you're a Packer fan, you probably know who that is. He's a comedian that does YouTube videos about the Packers, and he's really funny. But he plays a serious, he's just like the radio announcer, but he has a really serious moment, and it's in theaters right now, so you won't be able to stream it for a while. But Green and Gold, cannot recommend that enough. It was a very fun surprise. It's not what I expected, and I really liked it. So, all right, thank you to CB, Alyssa, Jake, and Zach for joining me. It was a blast as
You're really
always.
Skip over me again.
He said Jake.
Didn't I say Jake?
I could have swore he did.
Oh no, for a recommendation.
No, he recommended the
I
rookie.
was screwing with it. I was screwing with him.
Nathan Fillion.
Thank you to everybody that joined in on the live chat. If you guys are hearing this episode and you haven't done so yet, come join us on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, and you can watch this live and come join in the conversation. It'd be a lot of fun. But until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson, Jacob Gunderson, Alyssa White, and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are the Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.